You're recording?
Hi, my name is Jamie Featherston, and I want to welcome you to your class in general psychology for the 16 weeks this semester in fall 2025. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better as this course progresses. Um, just for a little background, I have been on the adjunct faculty at OCCC for about 20 years. And my full-time job at that time was as the psychologist at Griffin Memorial Hospital. Primarily, I also have time that I work at the Oklahoma County Crisis Intervention Center. But essentially, my main job is working as a psychologist for the state of Oklahoma. Um, and one of the things I'd like to do with this welcome is kind of highlight some information that I think might make it a little smoother to transition into this class. Um, One thing I want to say is that online classes do not mean necessarily that you have no interaction with the instructor. You will notice that I am looking back and forth here at a piece of paper. I'm trying to make sure that what I'm recording for you today is very similar. It covers all of the points that I put in the written introduction to the class. That means that if you've already read the written information, you probably don't need to pursue this one. I'm not offering anything different in this one than I did in that. Um, First thing I need to note is that I intend to have online office hours. Generally, I offer them between 7 and 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. If that time is totally impossible for you, you let me know and we can find different times. Usually when I do office hours, I do them through email, but sometimes we may decide as a class that you would prefer to do them through a Zoom meeting, which we can set up if you feel that would be helpful. Also, would like to remind you that the psychology department offers a virtual lab that covers a variety of topics and are hosted through Zoom. And every week we have a schedule for that. I will post that schedule on a weekly basis. And you can also find more information about how you access the virtual lab in the Moodle section that is labeled Student Support Resources. So be sure to check that out. Since you are here on this introduction, that means you have looked at your class on Moodle and you've probably noticed that the first week in Moodle seems to have a huge number of assignments. That there are a lot of assignments in the first week. I would like to assure you that most of them are pretty short, pretty quick to complete. Um, And in the section is titled How to Get Started, you'll probably find a list of steps for the first week. I would recommend that the first thing you do is copy the schedule that you can find at the end of your syllabus. That schedule lists your assignments and the due dates for the assignments during the semester. And your next step is to get connected, to connect. Connect is a platform through which your coursebook is offered, your homework assignments. It is the way in which you access the reviews and the tests themselves for the class. So there are two assignments. One of them is the Connect orientation assignment. The other is the Proctorio orientation assignment. That both also, in addition to giving you points for completing them, will also give you bonus points for completion if you complete them in a timely manner. Even if you are familiar with Connect and Proctorio, please do these assignments. One reason is that particularly since Proctorio is the means by which you take your test, it is really better to find out if there are any glitches in the system now instead of waiting until you're trying to take the test and you're meeting a deadline. Some people don't want to do Proctorio on their personal computer. I understand that. The library does have computers available. You can go into the library and tell them that you would like to take a test on one of their computers. Or if you have Or if you know somebody who doesn't mind having Proctorio on their computer, you can also find. Proctorio doesn't really care what computer you use, as long as the computer can give you a visual and a voice recording. So another thing you need to pay attention to is it's really important that you check your email frequently. And I will try to check my email regarding this class on a daily basis. Even if I do check it on a daily basis, it's still a possibility that you could have a delay of almost 20, 23 plus hours before I respond. If you need a faster response to a question about the class or about an assignment, you can message me, and that number is 405-473-2732. Use this number, please, just for text messages, because I tend not to answer the phone to numbers I don't recognize. The most common reasons that people give me text messages about the class are either that they missed an assignment due date or that extenuating circumstances are occurring that will interfere with the ability to complete some part of the coursework. For example, illnesses, auto accidents, job-related issues. All of the assignments for this class do in fact have due dates, and you're expected to keep up with the schedule and to complete assignments before the end of the due date. You will even notice in your syllabus that there is one place that says due dates, DUE dates, are not due dates, DO dates. So try to do them ahead of the last minute if possible. However, we're aware that life happens, and if there are extenuating circumstances, please try to contact me as quickly as possible to let me know if there are going to be problems with meeting a deadline. I also want to give you a little bitty warning about Connect, which is that if you're in the middle of doing an assignment, and most of which terminate at 11:59 p.m. on the due date, but if you're 3/4 of the way through it and you hit 11:59 p.m., it will simply zero you out. It's as though you did nothing. So please try to give yourself enough lead time to be able to do these assignments. So please let me know if you have any questions or difficulties in getting started with any of this. I would recommend that for some things, particularly like getting it, if you're having issues with getting connected on Connect, you might want to talk to the Center for Learning and Teaching or the CLT at OCCC, because they've been very helpful to students in helping you connect to them. And also, among things you might want to report or anything that I've done that's errors in the schedule or times or whatever, yeah, try to make it perfect. Just doesn't always work. So I want to let you know that I am looking forward to working with you, and that I hope that we have a great, fun, and informative semester. And I really thank you for being a part of this class.